shot by Izzy right before the bell.
The uppercut of Adesanya right there, shifting out of position, then from feint.
And then he's going to go to the leg again. Oh!
This UFC legend was untouchable, but he went from being one of the most feared fighters in the UFC to disappearing out of nowhere. How did he go from the peak of his career to experiencing one of the most shocking downfalls in recent UFC history? Let's rewind a bit. When Adesanya first entered the UFC, he brought a unique combination of skill and flair. He made quick work of Derek Brunson, and that's when everyone really started to take notice. His rise was fast. He wasn't just beating opponents, he was putting on a show.
Wow. And he's...
And oh! Big left and a right! Now the up! Oh, he's hurt again! Oh! Another knockdown!
Wow. He survived!
So effortless and fluid, and look how he ducks under that punch. Bink. I mean, the way. Oh.
Then came his fight with Kelvin Gastelum at UFC 236. That war was an instant classic. It began with Gastelum catching Adesanya in the first round with a left hook that wobbled him, showing that Gastelum was not there to back down.
Instead, he chooses to change levels.
He had him hurt.
As the fight progressed, Adesanya found his rhythm in the second round, landing more precise strikes and dropping Gastelum with a counter right hand.
Huge knockdown for Adesanya now.
But Gastelum was relentless and continued to apply pressure, even landing a big head kick in the fourth round that nearly finished Adesanya.
That right hand no more.
Oh, Kelvin's in real trouble. And now Stylebender's got it. Oh, man.
Showing championship.
After 5 grueling rounds, Adesanya stood victorious, capturing the interim middleweight title.
Isreal Adesanya!
It wasn't just his skill that shone through, it was his heart, his will to win. That fight solidified him as a superstar. And then, Adesanya stepped into the octagon with Robert Whittaker at UFC 243. In just 2 rounds, he knocked out Whittaker to become the undisputed middleweight champion.
He's got to be very careful. They're throwing. Izzy lands. Look. Boom! Left hook right on the chin.
Fans were blown away. Adesanya was now sitting on top of the world with 5 successful title defenses to his name. Names like Yoel Romero,
Not allowing himself to get caught up.
Paulo Costa,
And then he's going to go to the leg again.
Oh! Knockdown for Adesanya!
and Marvin Vettori, he took them all out.
If Vettori didn't respect him before the fight, he respects him now.
That was an elbow. Yep, that was legal. And he thought it was...
But as Adesanya continued to defend his belt, something changed. The fights weren't as explosive.
So 2 minutes have gone by. Yoel Romero has not attempted a strike.
His defensive approach, while effective, was starting to bore fans.
Boom.
His fight against Romero was a snooze fest with barely any action. It left a lot of people wondering, where was the flashy stylebender that first captured everyone's attention? Then in March 2021, Adesanya took a big risk. He moved up to the light heavyweight to face Jan Blachowicz. He was aiming to become a 2-division champ, but things didn't go as planned.
Nobody else has been able to do it.
Stings you a few times, and you feel those feints, and you realize...
And let me tell you something, man. We're on Paulo Costa pretty bad.
Blachowicz used his size and grappling to dominate Adesanya, handing him his first UFC loss.
Good combination from Adesanya. Adesanya making these.
Weight is so substantial, though. I mean, we know that Jan...
It wasn't a devastating defeat. He was still the middleweight king, but it was the first sign that Adesanya wasn't invincible. That's when Alex Pereira came in, the man who had already beaten Adesanya twice at kickboxing. When Pereira made his way to the UFC, fans couldn't help but speculate. Could Pereira be Adesanya's kryptonite in MMA too? The answer came at UFC 281. Adesanya was winning on the scorecards, but Pereira's power in the 5th round was just too much.
Usman certainly didn't sit on his lead against Leon Edwards. Big leg kick for Pereira. Backs Adesanya tonight. Oh, here's that left hook.
Here in the bell.
Pereira trying to close.
He knocked out Adesanya, taking the middleweight title and leaving us wondering if Adesanya's era of dominance was officially over.
The 5th round, I was up. He hurt my perineal nerve, and that's why I tripped that one time as well. It was really annoying, but yeah, but I'm still here.
But Adesanya, ever the warrior, didn't give up. In April 2023, he got his rematch against Pereira, and this time, Adesanya delivered.
Another outside kick.
Scary Pereira when he closes the distance.
Oh, jab to the body and a right hand up top.
Oh my goodness.
Dealt with all of that adversity in round 1.
A 2nd round knockout silenced his critics and reclaimed his belt. For a moment, it looked like Adesanya was back.
Boom! Catches a boom again.
Right hand.
Teeing off on him. Bang! Regains the middleweight championship of the world.
But that momentum didn't last. And then in September 2023 came Sean Strickland. Everyone thought this was an easy win for Adesanya. He started the fight by establishing his range with kicks, but Strickland applied relentless pressure from the get-go. Adesanya was moving well, giving Strickland different looks and feints, which initially kept Strickland from landing anything significant. But Strickland had other plans. From the 1st round, Strickland's pressure had Adesanya on the back foot. In round 3, Strickland began to assert himself even more. His jab was sharp, continuously finding its mark, and Adesanya started to look out of sync.
The kicks are what normally will land for you.
Just like Cannoneer.
Being measured early on. Right hand connection for Strickland.
Strickland maintained his pressure, and although Adesanya landed some decent strikes, he couldn't put together any meaningful combinations. He knocked him down early and dominated the rest of the fight, winning by decision.
Take a look at this knockdown from Sean Strickland. It's the 1-2, and it's the way that he throws it.
Strickland, the massive underdog, had just dethroned the king, and Adesanya looked like a shadow of his former self. So what went wrong? How did the once untouchable Isreal Adesanya fall so far, so fast? Some say it's his chin. After years of war in both kickboxing and MMA, it's possible that his ability to absorb damage has diminished. We've seen it happen to legends before: Anderson Silva, Chuck Liddell, fighters whose once great chins couldn't take the hits anymore. Others point to his style. Early in his career, Adesanya's footwork was mesmerizing. It was elusive, hard to hit, always one step ahead of his opponents. But in his recent fights, he looks slower, less sharp. He's no longer the fighter who stands in the pocket and counters like he used to.
Good shots in the 2nd round. But you heard Eric Nixon. He cannot have another round like round 2 where he just didn't do much.
He's more cautious, more hesitant, and in the fight game, hesitation gets you beat. Then there's the mental aspect. Adesanya has been at the top for a long time, and that kind of pressure can weigh heavily on a fighter. Fighting in title fights, 5-round wars, one after the other, it takes a toll.
Again, life throws curveballs. I lost tonight to the better man on the night. I just want to go with people, be with people who care about me, my team.
Maybe the fire that once fueled Adesanya had started to burn out. But no matter what went wrong, we can't forget the legacy Isreal Adesanya has left behind. He brought something special to the UFC, an unorthodox striking style, a unique personality, and some of the most exciting moments in middleweight history. From his knockout of Robert Whittaker,
Big shot by Izzy right before the bell.
to his redemption win over Pereira,
Look at that right hand. Bang again. Left hook behind it. Out cold.
Adesanya gave fans a career full of highlights. But every fighter has their peak. And for Adesanya, it seemed like that peak has passed. Whether he'll reclaim his title is uncertain. But one thing's for sure, Isreal Adesanya's journey is far from over. But the era of the last stylebender dominating the UFC, that might be behind us. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this breakdown of Adesanya's rise and fall. What do you think? Is Adesanya's time at the top truly over, or does he still have one more run left in him?
The middleweight champion of the world, Israel
us know in the comments below.